Hello, welcome to FM Scout. I'm Bood FM, and thanks for tuning in today to part 2 of Wonderkid Wanderers FC. Now, before I get into it, I just want to point you in the direction of my own channel, like we always do. A cheeky plug. Go and check it out. Got a series with Huddersfield. It's awesome. Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Right, let's get into it. This is part 2. Now, in part 1, we built a club called the Wonderkid Wanderers. We put about 40 of the game's Wonderkids in the team, in the squad. We've got a young manager, young chairman, and basically built the club around youth. Everyone's focused on youth. The chairman wants younger players bringing in. The stadium's quite small, but it had the ability to be improved. It was a club you could grow, and we just basically wanted to see how well it could do and how well this Wonderkid squad would do. Now, we only went 1 year into the future. In part 1, the team did quite well in the Premier League. They won the FA Cup, which was great. And also, the club was under a 3-year transfer ban. Mainly because we just wanted the club to be forced into using the youth, developing the youth, giving that youth a chance. Now, for part 2, we have jumped quite a few years into the future. It's now the year 2024, and a lot has happened. Let's check it out. Right, here we are on the club page for Wonderkid Wanderers. And what's great to see is Eddie Howe is still the manager. And if we have a look at Eddie, you look at his ability, wow, he has really developed, hasn't he? I mean, really developed into a great manager. Now, I've never checked him out before, to be honest. I don't know if anyone else ever noticed what Eddie Howe was like in the future. But look at his ability. He's got great attacking coaching. His man management's great. Working with youth is great, which is what he needs. Judging player ability is great. Tactical knowledge, motivating. He's a very, very good manager now. He's now 46, so he's still quite young. But it's just nice to see he's still in charge after all these years. And if we look at the manager history of the club, he has been in charge for 7 years and 336 days. He's won 2 leagues and 6 cups. So he's obviously won the Prem. He's obviously won some trophies. Obviously, we know he won the FA Cup in part 1. But I'm really interested to see how this club's grown. Right, here we are on the landmark history of Wonderkid Wanderers. And if you look at the bottom there, 2017, you'll see that's the FA Cup we know they won at the end of part 1. And it looks like they've done okay. I mean, they've won a Community Shield, they won the League Cup, lost the Community Shield, then they won their first league title in 2020, lost the Community Shield again, increased the stadium, which is nice, went on and won the FA Cup. Club failed the Premier League financial fair play regulations. That'll be interesting to find out why. They went on and won the Community Shield. Goalkeeper was removed. Donnarumma. I hate that name. Donnarumma was removed as captain, and George May was appointed captain. Again, the stadium got a boost. Champions League runner-up. Gutted. So yeah, they almost won the Champions League. They followed it up, won a League Cup, upgraded the facilities, won another Premier League, and then just lost the FA Cup. So, you know, they've won a few trophies, lost a few trophies, but they've done really well. So they've won 2 Premier League titles. Let's have a look at them. This is their first title in the year 2019/20 season. They were joint on 91 points with Chelsea. Won the title on goal difference, so that would be a great season. But nice way to win it, really. Not if you're a Chelsea fan, but that was a great first title. Their second title has come in this previous season. Won it by a few more points this time. Man United came second, City third, Arsenal fourth. Bit more convincing, and you know, they've done really well. 2 Premier League titles in these amount of years is good, in my opinion. If we look overall, look, Arsenal won the league, United won it, then Wonderkid won it, United won it, and Chelsea won back-to-back titles. Now Wonderkid have won it, so it's quite mixed. And if we go on to the England page, if you look down on the left-hand side, that major club list there is usually the order of the club size in the country. It usually shows you what the 6 best clubs are and in what order. So Wonderkid at the minute are the 3rd biggest and best team in England. United is 2nd, Chelsea are top. So they've definitely grown. And I mean, these Wonderkids aren't Wonderkids anymore. We will have a look at all them in a bit more detail. I just want to have a look at a few cup competitions, see how things went. Here we are with the history of the League Cup, and we know they've won 2 of those. They've never been a runner-up, so they got to the final twice, won them both. United have nicked a few, Arsenal have won a few, Chelsea have won a few. So it seems like the big clubs are winning the League Cup. I like it when you see a smaller team like a Birmingham steal one, but yeah, fair play, 2 League Cup wins. And this is the FA Cup history, and they've won 2, they've lost 1. Southampton won it 2 years ago, that's good. Spurs have got 1, Leicester got 1. So the FA Cup's been a bit more varied, but they've done well. I mean, I think they've won a nice amount of trophies. Now, if we look at the history of the Champions League, we know they were runner-up and they lost it to Paris Saint-Germain. Gutted. Spurs have just lost it to Real Madrid. So Tottenham must be a good side. They've just recently won the FA Cup not so long ago. Got to the Champions League final, that's good. Chelsea must be great on this game. I mean, Arsenal, look at that. Arsenal have lost it 3 times. Bayern have lost it twice, but Arsenal, come on. Wow, Arsenal lost it last time at Old Trafford. Gutted to Chelsea, but you know, Chelsea back-to-back titles, they've won cups, they've won 2 Champions Leagues. They must be a really good side. Now let's jump over to the general page, because obviously we started off, they didn't have any rivals, but one thing with these modern football managers is you can build rivalries, and they've built rivals with Manchester United and Chelsea. So that's brought a bit more into the game. The chairman still loves the club. The club's rich, which is nice to see. It's worth nearly £1.2 billion. Ticket prices are 47 quid. A season ticket, wow. A season ticket costs you £1,164. Crazy. Gabriel Jesus is an icon. They haven't got a legend yet, but Gabriel Jesus is an icon, and I will tell you, he's been pretty special for them, I'll be honest. They've got a few favourite personnel now as well. But yeah, I can't wait to show you the players. We will get there, trust me. Alright, if you have a look at the facilities, you'll see the Creche is a 36,000 seat stadium. It's currently been boosted. It's having 10,000 seats fitted. We've got a sponsorship deal there that's lasting 6 years with £23 million a year. Still got state-of-the-art training facilities, top youth facilities, top corporate facilities. Yeah, they're a great club, really. And I still want to have a go with these myself. I know a few people said they were going to at the end of part 1, and I'd really love to hear how well it went. Did you make a success of it? Now, quick look at the staff, and obviously Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook owner, and his wife Priscilla, they still own the club, which is good. Bex is still on the board as well as a director. Director of football was Ryan Giggs. He left last summer. He's been replaced by that fella. Now I can't say that name. I'm not even going to try and say it, but I am sure he's the guy who was at Barcelona, moved on to Manchester City. He's just come to Wonderkid Wanderers, so hopefully that's a good thing. Raul is still head of youth. And I think he's done a really good job, and you'll see that for yourself, because obviously there's a lot of good young players in this squad. They've sold quite a few as well, don't get me wrong, but it's quite good regens. There's some good regens as well, so we'll get to see that in a minute. But if you're look at the staff, a lot of the players are still here, because a lot of them are ex-players. They're all young staff members who we want to see if they could develop themselves. I'm not going to go into it too much, because I'm not interested in that. I want to get looking at the players. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to start off at Donnarumma, and I'm just going to click down. I'm going to look at them all one by one. Now, he was the club captain. He's no longer the club captain. Valued at 31 million, he's on over 200 grand a week. And yeah, he's a great goalkeeper. Brilliant goalkeeper, really. Got some good ability. I'd like to see his handling be a bit better. Personally, if I was going to have a go with this save, I'd work on that. I'd like that to be at 18 for a top class keeper, but I can't knock him. He's great. He's only 25. Good keeper. Next is Gedson Fernandez. He's a central midfielder. Now, he's only 25. Now, we didn't put him in the squad. They bought him 3 years ago for 32 million quid. Good player, but he wasn't originally in the team. But at least he's still buying youth as well. That's good. And just as I said that, the next player is Fred. Central midfielder, Brazilian, who's 31. They bought him about 5 years ago for £47 million. Yeah, he's okay. I'd like to see him use youth players though, because I think they've probably got enough youth to not have to buy a player like Fred. Surely he should be on the way out. Right, next on the list is Gabriel Jesus, striker, complete forward, and he hasn't got any greens. Now, if anyone's watched any of my videos, my attribute system is, I use a coloured system. Anyone's got an 18 or above, it's a green, 14 to 17, it's a yellow. And you'll see what I mean. Really bad stats are red. So he hasn't got any greens, and I like to see greens, but you can't knock him. He is good. And I mean, he scores goals, and that's all that matters. And he has played 292 times for Wonderkid FC, scoring 182 goals. And he is a legend now at the club. He's won loads of trophies. He's now worth 61 million on £250,000 a week. Top player. 27 years old. Yeah, looks like he's going to be he's a goal scorer, and that's all that matters. Next on the list is, we'll call him Enrique. He's a regen, 24-year-old left back. Looks good, quick, good tackling. Yeah, he's a quality left back. He's worth 24 million. They bought him though. He's not an academy player. They bought him 2 years ago for about 14 million quid. But yeah, very good Brazilian. Next is Benjamin Henriks. Nice name. He's a right back, but what he can play left back. He can play everywhere apart from up front. Good player again. No greens, but still a very good player. 45 million quid. Again, he's on £250,000 a week. German international, so yeah, tidy. Next player is Mason Holgate, young English lad who's now obviously 27. 33 times he's been capped for England. Looks good. He's a good defender. I won't say he's world class, but yeah, he's still worth 32 million quid. So yeah, he's a decent player. Played 195 times for Wonderkid. I didn't think he was going to be one of the centre halves that stayed and played, but fair play to him because he has. Next player is Alban Lafont, goalkeeper, French, 25. Played twice for France. Only worth 5 million. He's been a backup keeper, I think, for his entire career. I think he's won a World Cup though with France. He's in the France World Cup squad. And he's won a lot being on the bench with Wonderkid, so he must be happy being a backup goalkeeper. Next is club captain Georges May, centre half, and he's a good centre half, strong, got stamina. He's a leader, good at marking, decent tackling. Yeah, I like him. Looks like a really good player. Worth £48 million, again on £250,000 a week. They've got some wage bill here, haven't they? Played 270 times for Wonderkid and scored 3 goals. I think he won the Confederations Cup and he's won the European Championships with Spain, so yeah, he's a top class player. Next is Wilfred Ndidi. I like that name. I probably said it wrong, but I like it. He's a defensive midfielder, roaming playmaker, 27-year-old Nigerian, played 80 times for Nigeria, scored 23 goals, which is good. Won a lot of trophies with Wonderkid, played a lot of games, scored a good amount of goals as well for midfield as well, so yeah, I like him. I think he's a good player. Next is Christian Pulisic, I think it is. Again, I've probably murdered his name. American guy, but I think he's German as well. Left winger, can play in the centre. Yeah, done well. Again, won a lot of trophies, been here a long time now. Played a lot of games, 252. He's on 400 grand a week, but he is good. I mean, look at dribbling, got flair, got technique. First touch is good. He's pretty quick. He's off the ball's good. I like him. He's turned into a really good player, and he should be. He's worth 53 million, so yeah, top player. Next is Marcus Rashford, young striker. I'm a Man United fan. I like Marcus. I did a video on FM Scout a while ago having a look at him, so I know he can become a good player, and I think he's become really good on here. Played 250 times, scored 125 goals, worth 43 million quid, 135 grand a week. Again, he's won tons of stuff. He's rapid, isn't he? His pace, got acceleration. I'd like to see his finishing a bit better, to be honest, but can't really knock him. Again, he's a goal scorer. Him and Jesus up front must be dangerous. Next in the first team squad is a regen called Delano Senden. That's what we'll go with, a striker. Only 19, he's Dutch. They bought him 2 years ago from Anderlecht for about 7 million quid. Got good finishing. Yeah, he looks like a player that's got a lot of potential. He must have a lot of potential. So yeah, I like him. Right, I think he's called Jesus Vallejo, and he's a centre half, and he is fantastic. He is a quality player. 27, Spanish, 48 times he's played for Spain. Won the Confederations Cup with Spain. Won lots of stuff with Wonderkid. He's worth 51 million, £250,000 a week. But yeah, he's good. Marking is good. Tackling is good. Position is good. Decent at heading, but he's got great anticipation, composure, decision making. He is, well, I'd say a top centre half. Next is a player called Christian Zappe. Again, he's just a regen. He's in the first team squad though. He's only 18. Yeah, I won't say he's that good. Worth 7 million. They only bought him last year for about 200 grand. Hasn't played yet, so we'll move on. Next player is a 22-year-old Englishman called John Acosta. Top name, attacking midfielder, central, playmaker. And he's a youth academy player. He is a true regen from the Wonderkid Academy, which is nice to see. Again, he's only 22, got a couple of years left to develop. He's strong, he works good for the team, and he's got a good base there to develop. I think he could become a quality player. He's won the European Under-21 Championships with England. You know, he's done all right. Next player, another regen. They've only brought him in last year for not a lot of money, 14 grand or something silly. He's now worth 5 million, right back. So, you know, maybe he's got a bit of promise. Next player is Ian Barnett, another regen and another academy player. Again, he's English. Looks like a good winger. Could become, maybe he could get better. He's 24 now, so you're not going to get much more out of him. But as a winger, he's quick. He can cross. He can dribble. I think he's a decent winger. Nice to see another academy player in the first team squad. Next player, now I'm not going to say his name, but if anyone watches my series with Huddersfield, he's one of my best players, and I'll just call him Big Baz. So that's how I know him. So I'm calling him Big Baz, and he's a good player. I've got him at Huddersfield, and he's done well here. I don't think he's played that well though. I mean, he's won a lot of trophies, but I think he might be a sub. He's only played 89 times, and he's been here since the start. So yeah, it's a shame. He's worth 29 million, he's on 90 grand a week, and he's a good player. But I think there's probably better players ahead of him. Next is Maurice Costa, French, 23-year-old. They bought him last year for about 25 million quid. Yeah, he's 23. Got a year or two left to develop. Could become a good centre half. I think he's okay. I won't say he's world class, but yeah, they have bought a lot of young players, which is good. Next is a great player, Moussa Dembele, striker, now 27. He's only played for France 6 times. Still played for Wonderkid 187 times. Scored 82 goals. Yeah, he's a good striker. I'd like to see him develop a bit better than that, but yeah, he's a good player. Next is the other Dembele, the winger, can play left wing, right wing. 27, French, played 39 times for France, played 246 times for Wonderkid. He's won the World Cup with France, he's won loads of stuff with Wonderkid. Top player, and a good winger. Now that was the first team squad. This is the under 23s. As you can see, they've got a lot of good youth here, or they've got a lot of players that are worth a bit of money. I know they've developed a few for themselves, and they've also bought in a lot of youth. So the club's still kept that in mind. They've still bought young players and developed their own players. So I think Wonderkid could crack on for years and years and years, and they're just going to hopefully start churning out more and more young players. Now, as you know, the club was under a 3-year transfer ban that obviously ended a few years ago, but they still sold players. Now this is the first year, and they ended up bringing in 11 million quid. A lot of players went on loan, but they sold Felix Paslak, fullback, to Manchester City, so he left in the first year. The next year, wow, they sold Ruben Neves, who's a great player on this game, for 42 million to Paris Saint-Germain. They also sold Adam Armstrong for 12 to West Brom, and again a lot of other players went on loan. The next year they sold Tom Davies to Tottenham. Wow, look at that, 25 going on to 38 million. They sold Gabriel Barbosa to United for 28 million. They sold Martin Odegaard to West Ham for 22 million. Emre Moore went to Arsenal, and Philip Ox went to Manchester City. So they have sold some good players. Next year was the year of the transfer ban being lifted, and they spent 68 million. And they bought a few players. That's the year they bought Fred, bought a few other lads, and a few regens, I think. And again, sold a lot of talent. They sold Renato Sanchez to Paris Saint-Germain for 73 million. Sold Ben Chilwell. Let's have a look here. They sold, I can't say that, Umapenkano. That's what I'm going with. He went to Paris Saint-Germain for 20 million. Fosu Mensah to Bournemouth. Aaron Martin to United. So they've sold, wow. Havertz, I think he's called, went to Real Madrid for 62. In total, they brought in £190 million. The next year, they bought one player, but again, they sold a lot of talent. Now, they did have a lot of talent. They weren't going to be able to play them all. But it is crazy that they've sold so much. Mbappe went to City for 59 million. Wow. Any other big deals? There's a few deals there, not any massive ones. But yeah, some guys here. Look, Tillemans went to Gladbach for 5. I'm sure he'd be worth more than 5. Next year they spent 44 million, brought in a lot of young players there. A lot of them are regens. Some good ones though. Again, made some big sales. Brought in 66 million. The big deal was Danny Ceballos, who went to Real Madrid for 51 mil. Next year they spent 25 again on a lot of youth. Just seems to buy young players, but that's what the manager wants, is what the chairman wants. And again they brought in 172 million came in. Leon Bailey went to Paris Saint-Germain for 58 million. Paris Saint-Germain pumped in hundreds of millions into this club. Lewis Cook finally left, went to West Ham. Imbolo went to United for a massive fee, 43 million. Baba Rayman went to China for 34 million. Wow. And then at the bottom, Zivkovic went to City, and Guedes went to Gladbach. Wow, so many players. Alright, this was the last season, and they spent 27 million this year and brought in 49 million. I think the biggest deal there is Van der Aar went to Paris Saint-Germain, and Ryan Sessegnon went to Palace. So, looking at it, they have sold a lot of talent, a lot of good wonder kids, and they've made a lot of money. But they've obviously done the right thing, because they've still got some good players. They've brought in some good young players. They've developed their own young players, and they've just won a title, so they can't be doing that bad. Let's have a look at the Premier League Manager of the Year. And Eddie Howe's won it once, which is good. Won it in 2020. What's crazy is, look, Samuel Eto'o, eh? He won it last year for Bournemouth. Gary Monk won it with Stoke. Gary Monk. Wow. Looks like United have had a good few managers here, haven't they? Emery won it for United. And now Carlo Ancelotti won it as well a couple of years ago for United. So they've had a bit of a managerial merry-go-round. Now, they've had no Player of the Year, but they did have 3 times on the run actually Young Player of the Year, which is also good. Jumping over to the Champions League though, and Gabriel Jesus won the Golden Boot 2 years ago, scoring 8 goals. Right, if we look at the European Golden Boy, they've won it 3 times in the last few years, especially in the earlier years. Renato Sanchez won it in 2016, Gabriel Jesus won it in 2017, and Christian Pulisic won it in 2019. Now, I've only shown you awards where they've won something, or Wonder Kid players have won something, but I will show you the Ballon d'Or. As always, it's Messi. But Neymar's won a few, and Dybala's won a few, which is good. It's just a shame none of our lads, especially in the last couple of years, have picked up a Ballon d'Or. But I am pretty sure it won't be long till a Wonder Kid player is on that list. And if we jump over to the club rankings in Europe, as you see, Barcelona is the biggest club at the moment, followed by Madrid, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, United, Bayern, Juve, and then there you go, Wonder Kid above Madrid, Atletico Madrid, City, Seville, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool. So they've definitely grown in stature. Right, if we have a look at the club's best 11 of all time, you can see Dembele and Jesus up there. Rashford's in the middle for some weird reason, with Ndidi. Dembele on the right, Pulisic, I've probably butchered that again, sorry, he's on the left. Henrik's on the left, in left back. Mir and Vallejo, who, they're quality them too, they are a centre-half partnership and half. And then Holgate at right back with Donnarumma in net. And yeah, some of them guys have played some games. I mean, Donnarumma's played 417 times, that's insane. Yeah, some absolute legends there. Right, so that's it. I just wanted to have a look at how the club's done, have a look at the players, see how they've developed. You'll be able to see some of them players and see if you fancy them yourself. You might not have heard of a few, you might look at them and think, wow, they are quality, I'm going to buy them on my save. And yeah, I'm just interested to see how the club's grown, how it's grown its stadium, how everyone's improved after they've won any trophies. I'd like to have seen them win a Champions League, and I reckon if we went further on into the future, they probably would eventually win a Champions League, because they've got so much quality still. They've brought in so much young quality as well, and they've got the facilities and the staff to develop the club and develop the players. And I think it'd be an exciting time to be a Wonder Kid Wanderers FC fan, especially with Eddie Howe in charge still. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that quick look and part 2 of Wonder Kid Wanderers. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button for us, it really helps our channel out. Also, if you're new to FM Scout, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you with us. And also, don't forget, if you've never checked it out before, check out the fmscout.com website. Brilliant website, as everybody knows now. It's got great downloadables, things you can put on the game, great things to read, things to learn. It is a brilliant website. You should sign up. It's free. So yeah, as always, thank you very much. I've been Bood FM. Have a nice day. Take care. And I'll see you later.